Do you remember last episode where we got a bit gloomy and we were saying, oh, it's all over and all that crap? Well, I don't think it is. It sounds very crazy, but in a few matches we have gone from thinking, we could finish 6th or 7th to actually we've got a very slim chance of potentially winning the Premier League. Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming. Welcome back to the Football Manager 2021 series Conquering The Euro with Everton. Today it is part 7 of Season 7. Incredible to be that far into the save, nearly in 2030 now. And today we've got two big games, it's fair to say, against Tottenham first off, a side that have been underperforming, but we've lost to Bournemouth, we've lost to Fulham, and we've dropped points against Blackburn this year. So teams that are near the bottom, we can slip up against, definitely. And then we've got the home leg of our first knockout round leg against Juventus in the Champions League. But I think it's very much a case of stage fright recently. In the last episode, we went and, we beat Burnley, great, but then we lost 3-0 to Bournemouth. And in episode 5, we lost to Chelsea and Arsenal. But off camera, if you look, apart from that Watford game, we've won every single game apart from that Man City match. So we've only had 2 games since the last one. The first one was against Liverpool, and we walked the Merseyside derby. Liverpool just weren't in it at all. 2 fairly early goals from Robin van den Berg, and that was really all she wrote. Brilliant 3 points there. How we can go and lose 3-0 at home to Bournemouth and beat Liverpool 2-0 is mind-boggling. And then we went back to the BMD Stadium and recorded a win against Fulham, 3-1, which leaves us looking a little bit like this. Now, an important thing to note is that Manchester United lost in their last game to Leicester, who were all the way down in 17th. So they're not unbeatable. They are going through what is a rocky patch, and I really hope it's Man United starting to bottle it. You can see they drew with Blackburn, lost to Leicester. I mean, if they've got any big injuries, is that maybe explaining things? A quick look at the Premier League. They've got 5 injuries. Let's have a quick butchers at this. So Rashford's out. He's only got a niggle, though. They've got a few players out. Who's this? Again, left back. Don't think it'd make too much of a difference, but it is interesting. They've failed to score in the last 2 games, which is very unusual for United. They went and stuffed Leeds 5-0, beat Newcastle 7-0. They are a tremendous side, but things are starting to get busy for them. They've got Reading today. I can't see them losing against Reading, but you never know. They've got 3 games that they don't really want there. I think it's fair to say, certainly the cup final and the next round of the cup. But look at that run after that. Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Man City. They're surely going to drop some points in that run. So we're 10 points behind them. We've gone past our big run. Even though there are some tough matches in there, the only biggie really is Man United. We can look to have a really good March, and well, if things go for us, we could just be back in this title race. But we're on camera today, which usually means that things will really start to go rocky. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you would have seen that Benito Owen scored for us against Fulham, and you'll be thinking, who the hell is Benito Owen? Well, I will tell you, we've splashed the cash a little bit in January. We spent £46 million this year, which is net 9 million. In fact, we have sold £37 million worth, and we'll go through that before we go through Benito Owen. Cascao has left the club. He's gone to Real Madrid. It just never worked out for Cascao here. We signed him for 12.75 million from Saudi Arabia a few years ago, and he's played 5 games for the club since, and I think that's actually 9 and 1 in the cup, so 10. But Jordan Pickford has been one of our best players, and we just can't afford to drop him. Plus the fact, I think, that a range of things, particularly the lack of game time, hasn't helped Cascao reach his potential. And when Real Madrid came in with a £15 million offer, it was a bit of a no-brainer. So he's gone there as a backup. Don't worry, he's not gone there as the next big thing. But we do have a bit of a problem in terms of a bit of a lack of backup, you could say. We've got Joel Stewart, Chris McKeown, Martin Keown. So it's Chris McKeown. Doesn't quite run, that doesn't. But we've got some decent goalkeepers here. But take Pickford out of the mix, which is going to happen at some point. Look at these players. That there is nobody there who particularly shines. Chris McKeown, oh, I don't know anymore. I can't pick him just on the fact I can't say his last name. But he looks a decent keeper, but nothing more. That is the problem with Cascao leaving the club. He was a definite replacement for Pickford. But nevertheless, as long as Pickford doesn't get injured for the rest of the year, we should be okay. So a signing that didn't work out, but we still make a net profit on him. So we have signed Benito Owen for £25 million. Quite a biggie. And I did think when I signed him, I thought, oh, have we made the right decision? He's not one of the best players in the world, doesn't set the world alight in terms of some of these attributes. But when you consider that we picked up Hamilton Sierra for £2 million, he's a 4.5-star player. You're not going to get gems like that cheap all the time. You are going to have to spend some money. He is a Stoke youngster, been there since 2020 to 21, so came through the first youth intake, and he's a goal scorer. Ever since 2024 to 25, he scored at least 10 goals for them in the league. I know he's been in the Championship for most of that time, but he can certainly score in the Premier League. And he's a good second option, if anything. We talked about having depth options up front. And he's a player that definitely can score if the first game is anything to go by. He scored 2 on his debut. Unfortunately, he's going to be out for the first game today because he's got a pulled groin. But looks like he's going to be a good signing. And that is really nice to see. Obviously, we've got Iwobi leaving the club. So I do see him as a bit of backup. He can play on either wing and up front. So it's a bit of backup for Iwobi and makes sense to me. The only shame, I guess, that we couldn't sell Iwobi for a fee, because obviously it just means we spend 25 million, we get nothing in return. But the club can afford that in the coffers, so I wouldn't really worry about it. So we've got Tottenham in the first of today's games. You can tell I'm trying desperately to take a sip of this drink, which I am going to do now. It's the usual side. We haven't got any big injuries apart from Lorenzo. That's still an ongoing thing. He's injured. Going to be back in 6 to 12 days, but because he's had a long injury, I'd guess he's going to be more like 3 or 4 weeks before he's back up to fitness. So apart from that, it's the usual side. We have got Messina playing regularly now. He's got a 7 out of 10 in his last 5 games, so he looks like a good signing at least from the outset. Our £18 million signing from Real Madrid. He plays alongside Lewis Bates in the midfield. We've got Nelson, Hamilton Sierra and Deji Satona in the attacking midfield, with Robin Vandenberg up front. Now, Tottenham have been a side that it's not unusual, cue the Tom Jones references, that they've done particularly badly. They've gone through quite a run now of doing quite poorly, and this just generally might be where they should be. I'm going to really pay for saying that, aren't I? Because Tottenham are going to stick a few past us today, and it's going to be painful. The one side I am very surprised at that have done shockingly this year is Man City. They're in 12th at the moment. They're a bit in no man's land, really. They're sort of 6 or 7 points off continental qualification. They're 10 points off relegation. They are in the middle of nowhere. Some interesting games to watch out for is definitely the Chelsea game. They're playing against Fulham. You should think they'll win that. Leeds United, who are doing brilliantly as well, they sit 3rd in the Premier League at the moment. I would hope for our sake that they tail off towards the end of the year, but they're showing no signs of doing that. The same goes for Sheffield United as well. They beat Man City in the last game, so they're a good side. Leeds United and Sheffield both doing well, and because we're up there as well, the traditional top 4 or top 6 has been really just crushed completely. I'm not sure about that as an effort from Deji Satona completely. I just want to check that everything's okay with the recording, which it is. I have to say today we had a bit of a ramble to start things off, but we don't do that usually, so I hope that you guys can understand, and there was a few updates to bring you, even though we've had only 2 matches. This is going to be a goal, isn't it? Oh, just above the bar. Leicester have took the lead against Leeds United, albeit very quickly cancelled out by Leeds. Lovely goal there from Diego Almeida. That's his first goal of the season. Cracking stuff from Hamilton to bring it into the box. My hair, I really need it to be cut before the next video. Hamilton put it into the box. Really nice. Really good stuff from Diego Almeida. And funnily enough, we've been doing some work on set pieces in training the last few weeks. So it's good to see one of those come off. One of our problems, definitely, has been the amount of goals we've been conceding. So to get through that Liverpool match with a clean sheet, and hopefully through today's match with a clean sheet. Oh, dear. Oh, yeah. Really shouldn't have said that. Really shouldn't have said that at all. But it's 1 each at half-time. I'm going to say we've been unlucky so far, because we haven't done too badly. We've had a lot of possession, which I think we should have done a bit more with, to be honest. But we've got another 45 minutes to secure the match. We've definitely got the goal-scoring ability. It just depends how leaky we are at the back. And that has been a problem this year, I would say. And I can't really put my finger on why, because we've played the same system, the same players, but we are conceding more. And that is a disastrous start to the second half. That is a big problem, because the half-time team talk is a huge chance to get your players encouraged, berate them if you need to. And when they're out on the pitch, it's entirely down to them. So a terrible start to the second half. From 1-0 up, we are now 2-1 down. And considering we've had a lot of possession, it is surprising, really is. And that is shocking. That's absolutely dreadful. But Sierra nicely wins it back. Vandenberg makes it 2-each. We react pretty quickly, but I want to make sure that the heart rate doesn't go up again, because this is a Tottenham side that is quite poor. It's a side that we should be beating today. We've had nearly 60% of possession. Our XG is higher. All of the metrics suggest we should be winning this football match. And that is similar for a lot of football matches this year. Fulham are beating Chelsea at the moment. That would be quite a turn-up. A turn-up? A turn-up for the Bucks, yes, at Craven Cottage. So let's hope that carries on. In terms of substitutions, I don't think Deji Satona's having his finest hour. So we're going to put Hamilton out on the left, and he can play quite nicely out on the left. We'll put Lewis Bates in the attacking midfield position, and we'll probably put Dennis Zakaria on for him. Iwobi's going to be a big miss, I think, in that attacking midfield position. Obviously, we've got Lorenzo there. Be a big miss as well for us to not take 3 points today. Flipping heck. It really is, honestly. There's no other way to describe it. The players just must be camera shy because, well, you've seen it. We're so good off camera. Yeah, I'm pretty speechless. Well, not speechless the word, but I just don't get it. We're just so inconsistent. It's painful. There's nothing worse than seeing other sides like Chelsea potentially drop points against Fulham and knowing you can't capitalise, and obviously seeing Man United drop points against Leicester in their previous game, and now we know that if they go and beat Reading, which is pretty likely, then it's back up to 13 points, and that title hope has gone. But let's see, there's still 15 minutes to go. A Solken shot, which is more opportunistic than anything, and I'm not entirely sure why he did that. We hadn't even got shoot on sight on, but this is starting to get infuriating now. There is nothing I hate more than watching a stat go against us. We should be winning this football match, albeit Tottenham are quite close to us now in terms of XG, but this is shocking. And it's our defence that are to blame, I think. But I can't put my finger on why. Solken, good ball into Hamilton Sierra. He makes it 3 each. I guess I would take a draw at this point. I'm going to demand more out of the players just because, we should be going to win this match. It's great how our attackers have responded, but ultimately not the best defensive display. Although our defenders have got really good ratings, so maybe I might be being too harsh. But who knows? I guess we gain a point on Chelsea because it looks like they've lost against Fulham, but it's not good enough. Looking where Tottenham is on in the table, it's not what we should be aiming for. Chelsea do indeed drop points against Fulham. Leeds drop points as well. Sheffield United drop points again. It just screams to me that we should have took a chance. And there's only one club that'll be laughing because of this. I suppose Arsenal might, but Man United, the big club that are going to be, well, really laughing because of this. And that's really infuriating. But again, it's our third full season. We really want to go for it this year. If we can get in the top 4 again, I think that's a really good result. I think we can. If you look at where we are, we're only 6 points behind Chelsea. The big disadvantage for us this year, because we've conceded so many goals, we've conceded 43, just to have an idea. Even Tottenham have conceded less. Reading have conceded 2 more. So we are particularly leaky at the back, and we need to sort that out. But it's not a bad run of form. Arsenal are in a terrible run of form there. Have they lost the last 5 games? They have. So Arsenal don't look to be any threat. They were up there, I do remember, at one point. They were leading the league, and they've really dropped off. Could be worse, I guess. But, yeah. Can we get second? Maybe, but, more performances like that, and we certainly won't. But tough game, this next one, against Juventus. It's fair to say, I would love to show you maybe the next 7 or 8 games, because they're all worthy of showing on the channel. But A, I'm scared we'll muck them up, because we seem to be camera shy at the moment. And obviously B, we can't have that many episodes in a season. But let's see. First knockout round against Juventus. Let's go and get, at least a draw, I suppose. Clean sheet will do, so I guess a 0-0 would do at home. Well, it feels like we're taking on the Man United of Italy here. They don't lose very often, do they? They drew against Inter, lost against Napoli, but all of the others on this screen, okay, they drew against Atalanta, but they look a mighty side. They've got Kai Havertz in the side, Matthias de Ligt. I mean, he's injured, so that'll definitely help us out. But they've got some cracking players. And this is the team that we're going to take them on with. Just look at this side. Well, I'm very nasty towards our players, actually. We've got an incredible side of players. I just wish they'd show it on camera a bit more often. They are very camera shy. So it's the same side that took on Tottenham. But Benito Owen plays instead of Deji Satona. Satona has been on a bit of a barren run. He has very much ups and downs. He's very inconsistent, I find. But let's see how Benito Owen gets on. I mean, he goes from Stoke to playing Juventus in a few weeks. I'm not exactly sure how that one gets on. I also don't think we'll get a clean sheet here. You and Thomas Tuchel or... See, what were they calling him earlier? I was watching the Wolves-Chelsea match. Tuchel or something. It's Thomas Tuchel, surely. Tuchel. Touch-L. Tuchel. Touch-L. Not Tuchel or Tuchel or Buckle. Oh, I don't know. We're both professionals, I guess. Deji Satona's caused a bit of a stir. Well, would you believe it? He's on really good form, apparently, the last few matches. But I haven't seen it, personally. I could be completely wrong, but I guess the stats don't lie. But Benito Owen starts today. It's one game. I wouldn't be getting too offended if I was indeed Deji Satona. There's plenty of football for him. 5 wins from the last 5 for Juventus. It's going to be a tricky one today. There's no real expectation to go any further than this in the Champions League. So we give our all, we put our full squad out, and we just see what happens. There's no point shutting up shop. I think the best way to play is the way we usually play. That being said, I think it wouldn't hurt to be a bit more cautious in our play. I don't think there's any harm in doing that. But that's only bringing it down to balance from positive. That's the only real thing I can see that we can do. There's no point shutting up shop completely. As I said, you know, there's no point going... Well, there is some point going for a 0-0, I guess. But I think whatever we do, you watch this... I mean, everything is against what I say. Whatever we do probably won't end up being a 0-0. I mean, that's took a while to get our first highlight. We have got down to counter-attacking now. So we're going to be under some pressure from Juventus. But let's see how we get on. Havertz still on the ball. Puts it to Chiesa out wide. Havertz still. Good pressure this from Benito Owen. And Sierra wins the ball, but it's Owen with it. Owen running with the ball. What can he do? It's Vandenberg's on the edge of the box. He shoots. It's 1-0 to the Everton. Get in there. Brilliant stuff initially from Benito Owen to put the pressure on Kai Havertz. It made him play that short pass. It was Sierra who actually won the ball back, but Owen did all the rest. Brought the ball forward. Okay, it was a lucky tackle from Bottolo. They have some strange names over in Italy. But Robin Vandenberg, his 19th goal of the season, he's becoming a real tour de force for us. And it looks like at half-time we're going to lead 1-0 against Juventus. I'll tell you what, and anything but the league. You know, we do well in anything but the league at the moment. There's still time, of course. But this is a good start for us. Certainly gives us some momentum going into the second half. Benito Owen again running with the ball. What can he do this time? Puts it into Sierra. Vandenberg. Vandenberg can't quite make it happen. But the man who is doing all the playmaking at the moment is Benito Owen. You know, would you see the same from Deji Satona out on that left-hand side? Potentially not. This feels very much like a Diego Jota signing for Liverpool this year. The front three, I wouldn't call them stagnant at all, but he's someone who is starting to get some... momentum and make some really good creative plays for the team. But when Livramento's mistiming tackles like that stupidly, then, you know, yeah, it's going to be tricky. Okay, Kai Havertz with a penalty. He runs up. Oh, if Pickford would have stayed, he would have saved that. It's one each, and, you know, we've done well to keep them out so far. I've hurt my hand by doing that. I mean, you know, fair enough. They probably should be ahead in terms of XG, but that didn't do us any good last time out. Can we retake the lead? Hamilton Sierra into the box. Godfrey can't do anything with it, which usually means now they're going to go on a counter-attack. And much like the last game, surely not. Pickford makes a good save. It does go out for a corner, but I hope this doesn't go the same way as our previous episode, or else I'll start to get very concerned about us getting camera shy. I mean, I tried to stop us doing that by playing against Bournemouth last episode. No offence to Bournemouth fans, but I really thought we'd actually win a bloody game on camera. In the league, that is, of course. We did win the FA Cup match against Burnley, but then if we had lost that against a Championship side with nearly our full-strength team, I would have thought there was something definitely going awry. I think the more this game goes on, the more Juventus look like they're going to win this, you know. And there it is. There's the goal. Juventus 2-1 up. Let's make a substitution then, I suppose. Hamilton's getting tired, so we'll put Salkin on for him. We'll leave it there at the moment. There's no expectation at least for this. If we go out, then we go out. But what we did do last year, we conceded too many in that match against PSG. We made ourselves not to look like fools, but we could have gone out with a bit more grace. The only thing we've done wrong today, and this sounds incredibly stupid, is that we've conceded goals. And that's been our problem. And I feel like that came from the penalty. Whether it would have happened anyway, I'm not too sure. But, yeah, frustrating first leg. Again, doesn't look like we're going to get a win on camera today, even though we had 2 impressive wins before this off camera. So I'm getting very suspicious. I'm going to have to be very careful about what games I pick for those on camera. But that being said, if Owen can make something happen here, if we can make it 2 each, Salkin through on goal is wide. How on earth has he not got that on target at least? Just put your foot through it. But again, Benito Owen trying to make something happen. Surely that's not another penalty. That doesn't even look like a foul. That just looked like the player went down ridiculously. Based on these, they usually go for a free kick. Yeah, it is a free kick to Juventus because of this. But that seems incredibly soft. But if VAR says it is, then it's a free kick. Chiesa into the box. Taylor gets it out. Good interception from him. The one thing I don't want to happen now, and that is the risk, I guess, of going more attacking and trying to get a point out of this, is that Juventus go and make it 3-1. But at 2-1, it's not ideal. Really, I suppose, it doesn't matter, does it? Because we've got to go and win over there. And we could do with getting 2 goals, basically. Get 2 goals and all this is worried. You ain't going to worry about any of that. But, yeah, it's a disappointing performance. I just can't believe how we're not transferring our good form off camera to what's on camera. It's very strange how these things happen sometimes. Really is. But, I guess you're going to lose to teams like Juventus sometimes. We're not one of the best sides in the world, and that's inevitable sometimes. Try not to get too negative, so I'll shut up and I'll leave you very quickly. We've got Brighton next up in the FA Cup 5th round. That's a tournament I've never done very well in, so it'd be great to try and do something in the FA Cup this year. Then we've got Leicester, Man United and Newcastle in the Premier League. We'll definitely come back, I think, first off for the Juventus match and then for the Leeds match, because Leeds doing very well in the league. That could be a decider potentially for 3rd place, if we keep playing well, that is. And I think looking at our schedule, we should go and pick up 3 points against Leicester. Man United's a different story. I think we have to shut up shop there after we got beaten 6-2 away from home. And then 3 points against Newcastle. If we can walk out of that period with 7 points, then we've got a good chance of finishing the top 3. Or at least the top 4, but I think the top 3 is achievable. But the next episode with that game against Juventus and then Leeds in the league should be really interesting. And then I don't want to be too pessimistic, but I feel like we'll probably get knocked out of the Champions League at this point. So I think after the Leeds match, it's very much we play the running off camera and then we come back for the last 2 games of the season. But I could be wrong. I guess the FA Cup's in there as well, so that could bring us a bit more excitement. But a disappointing episode. Could have done with getting 3 points out of Tottenham. But a bit of solace is that the teams around us drop points, but I guess sometimes that isn't really the point. But if you've enjoyed that, folks, make sure to leave a like down below, comment your thoughts as well, and subscribe for regular Football Manager 2021 content. Until the next time, I've been TIJ Gaming. Thank you for your company today, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye for now.